Well, happy post-Thanksgiving. We got a lot to talk about. We got work that we did in the shop quite a bit. We got some stuff, some demos if you're interested. And we're going to talk about Christmas gifts. All next in What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary here, and it's called What's in My Drawers. Why? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I'm no different. It's about what's in my drawers in my golf shop. And this is where we talk about golf club repairs, golf club reviews, golf club fittings. Also, your scores can go low. So, as in tradition, we talk about the golfing, which I don't think we really chat too much. And then we go about what we did in the shop. Before we do what's in the shop for Thanksgiving, I wanted to show you, I don't know if I got to, there's a turkey breast, did that on the smoker. I got to tell you, I'm impressed with some smoked turkey now. It's not as, when we say smoked turkey, we get this idea that it's got this massively smoky flavor, and it really does not. And turkey is a very neutral bird, and it doesn't, and it's big, so it would take a lot to make it get there. So not too bad there. The other part of it is that we went through 3 Thanksgivings this year. One with friends, one with family, and one with work. And so needless to say, there was a lot to eat. And I just about turkeyed Thanksgiving out. So what we did is, when it came Sunday, I said, I got to cook on the grill. I'm tired of this. And I tried something new. I made my very first smoked mac and cheese. So we did it with that. And I put some beans there on the side just as a cover, just in case. And there it is right there. And then we added it with some ribs, as you can see down here on the side. And Mrs. McGolf gave me the 2 thumbs up on the smoked mac and cheese. So I have yet another side in my repertoire of things I can put on the grill. So that was a good thing. All right. So stuff that we did. We got quite a bit done. Mrs. McGolf told me that we sent to Texas, West Virginia, and New Jersey. And we've got another one waiting to go to Utah. So here we go. There we go. This one's going to Texas. As you can tell, it's got the nice BB&F ferrules. There's number 7s. What I mean by that is ZX7s. There we go. And they have Modus 130s in them with the white grip. There we go with that one. Nice set. Came out very, very well balanced. It was surprisingly so. I like it a lot. All right. Next set is a set of ZX5s. This was a Srixon week, as you can tell. ZX5s with the ZX hybrid that came with it. The gentleman actually hit it very, very well. And then we got to this side of it, and you can see that we also added a Cleveland RTX6 and the brandy spanking new, the very first AI Model 7 to go out. And so we talked about this before, about the putters come in a milled, and then they come in what we would say the normal, or with the white face on it. They do not come in the same exact one, so you're choosing against the head. Some of the milled putters have certain qualities, like the double bend Model 7, where in the white face they do not. So if you're a big fan of the double bend and not so much as, say, a Z-neck or a plumber's neck or something along that lines, then you're going to be, relegated to going in and buying the milled versus the white. So you got to know that going in. They're not all made the same. So you got to really be careful of what you're finding out there. All righty. So you put it all together, it looks a lot like that. And it turned out pretty good. We used in this particular instance, if I'm right, and I think I am. I am. So these were made to a 39-inch 5-iron, which is an inch over standard. Now, the cool part about this is, pardon me, inch over standard, 95-gram shaft with a jumbo grip. All right, jumbo grip. Had almost the exact same swing weight as a regular set of 7s at a standard length at 130 gram shaft and a standard grip. So it's just amazing how swing weight, can get measured in a lot of these different things. All right, so there's a more of a picture of just the irons themselves with the chrome ferrules, which is very nice. And then the Model 7, I left it in the plastic. I like leaving some of the ideas in plastic just so, it's like unwrapping a gift. So that's not too bad. Next one. This one's going to Jersey, and that is a Jaws Raw black, as you can tell, with a 56, and we bent it to spec. But the special part about this is the zone shaft. We put the 115 zone in there and put the MCC grip on it, and away it goes. Now, that was from a previous fitting from a golfer that visited us from Jersey. So there was that one. All right, we're going to keep going down the lot, and we switch over to Mizuno's. These are the Mizuno hot metals, and if you see over here again in the wedge, the wedge, the Jaws Raw won the day again, only in the silver this time, and it had the Catalyst wedge shaft. There it is again. And we ended up putting, and you can't tell it, but these are the VRTX 70s. So the VRTX is a Project X iron shaft, and it's a very nice shaft. And the 70 gram, and I had 2 or 3 other 70 gram shafts, and this one won the day by a lot. So the shaft did make a difference. And then we put the mid-size 2Gs on there, I believe, and away we go. And there's what they look like right there. The nice fan pattern. Now, if if you're following me on Instagram, it's I am at golf. I put all these on there, and I have some music and some background stuff. So it's 30 seconds of a little bit of entertainment, at least I hope. And there we go from there. All righty. So we got through that one. That is that's what we got built. What's coming, and if you guys want to give me an idea, I got sent these, and what are they? PXG mills. All right, PXG mills. Apparently, I'm to reshaft these things, and I don't know how cleaned out they are, but obviously they are used, and we're going to reshaft them with some TZs. So it's going to be a very, very nice set of irons. So if you're looking for something specific that you haven't seen so far, that's one. Another one, for a guy that may be watching today, Dan from Minnesota. I don't want to take it out of the bag just yet because of the way that it's made, being raw. At least I think it's raw. Yeah, tour track. So this is a RTX 6, and it's a mid, and it is a 56 mid, and I got a 60 mid, and we're going to put a special shaft in that one as well. So we're going to be redoing some wedges. So those are coming up. Those are builds to the future. All right, and we're talking with some other guys wanting me to do some builds. So throw a topic out there, guys. I'm more than willing to talk about it if you're willing to listen. So hit me with that. All right, so more importantly, we went through one holiday. We went from Thanksgiving. Now we're going into Christmas, and we are in the throes of the buying season. Now, if I was smart, I would have picked up some pictures, and I do have them. I just don't know if they'll pop up for us or not. Let's see. We'll see if this works or not. Let's do that. Well, I do know where they're at. So anyway, so we're getting ready to do gifts, right? And what do we want from golfers from gifts like that? And the very first one, so I came away with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible grips, or 8 possible ideas. All right, ideas. And none of them are golf clubs. All right, this is just for because golf clubs, it'd be my opinion, Unless you absolutely positively know that that's what you want, then don't have somebody buy you one. Don't go, man, I really like to have a driver, and then they give you and you got 110 swing speed, and you get a 12-degree A-flex driver. See what I'm getting? Or if you got a putter and you get a left-handed putter instead of right-handed putter. It's that kind of stuff. When you know what, if you go through the rest of this, it won't be too bad. So one of the first thing is a golf bag. All right. The golf bags they do have personal flair to them. Let's go from there. There's several different varieties depending on how you want to golf, whether you want to ride in a cart or whether or not you want to carry, or you're going to go retro and do Sunday bags or something in between, right? So you've got to know what it is that you're going to get the most use out of your golf bag. So if you're going to be a rider, a cart bag is the way to go. Again, I'm giving you my opinion. There's a couple of, I'm going to give you 5 different golf bag manufacturers, of all of which have, or 4 of which have cart bags. And I think you won't go wrong with either one of them. It's just a matter of your style. So for me, it's the Sun Mountain. Now I have this model in my possession now. In fact, it's this guy right here. If you can see my hand wiggling, that is a 2024 model. Now, pardon me. The C130 is always a perennial favorite with a lot of folks. It's got a big putter well, it's got all the dividers all the way down. It's got a magnetic holder for your rangefinder, the balls, and plenty of stuff. I'm not going to be a salesman for them, although we do carry them. There's just plenty of room for everything that you need. And when you put them on the cart, everything faces the cart, which I thought that was normal. When then I get out some of these older bags, and that's not true. They were every which side. So the planning on this thing is very, very, very nice. Okay. And Sun Mountain. So that's one company right there. The next company, if you're carrying, of course, all these other companies will have a carry bag as well. Sun Mountain does, and these other companies do. But by far and away, the Hoofer bag is one of the fan favorites out there. All right. I don't have an association with Ping. I just know that it's a fan favorite because of its design. They call it the Hoofer because the bottom of the bag tilts like a hoof on a horse, right? And that's what allows the bag to set. When it comes back up, then the legs come in, and away you go. Now, in this Hoofer, there are several different models within the Hoofer bag, and colors, dividers, that kind of stuff, and the way you want to go that. So that's for the carry bag. Now, if you're feeling very retro and you want to just do the Sunday bag, here you go with that one. And I believe that's from either Vassal or Ogio. I think it's Vassal may have that one. And Sunday bags are exactly what they are. They're just a big old open tube with something you sling over your shoulder. It's not made to carry an entire set. You get yourself like going to an executive par 3, that might be the way to go. Now, the one that really caught my attention, that was a new one, was called Big Max. Big Max. These guys got a lot of love and a lot of different, we'll call it the top 10s, top 5 bags from different places. And if you look, this looks very substantial. This is the hybrid bag. These are one of my favorite bags right here. So this is a cart bag, right? A cart bag, but it's got a carry strap and legs. So if you truly are one of those guys that once in a blue moon, you get this just wild hair to go walking, you can. Now, is it going to be as comfortable as carrying the Hoofer? No, but you don't have to go change out anything you want, and it's good to go. And if you happen to be a range rat, or you like going to the range and you want to stand up your bag, a lot, if you don't have one of those bag holders, because most people, when they go to these resort courses, aren't going to walk. They're going to either put the bag on a cart or they're going to put it on a push cart, and away they go. This has the stand so that you have your entire set there in front of you and work on whatever it is that you need to work on. Now, the Big Max got some love in the golf cart section, and it was a nice looking golf bag, to be sure. And the one that you don't see a picture on here is either, I think it's Vassal or Vessel. All right, they're known for like a leather bag kind of vibe, and the way they're looking at it. So, from a golf bag perspective, if you're looking at golf bags and you want to ensure that you get a quality golf bag and you're not going over the top, you're going to get Sun Mountain, Big Max, Ogio, Hoofer, and then the Ping Hoofer bag. And then the last one is Vessel. Now, Vessel can get kind of pricey, but it's price per performance, right? And what you get. So that's a golf bag. So you can, different dividers, different uses, different colors, different preferences for whatever it is you need. All right, the next one, probably one of the more popular models or popular things, is going to be rangefinders and GPS watches. All right, rangefinders. Now, that's kind of a touchy subject for me because I've lost 3 of them in the span of a year. I know, I know, I know. And why is that? Well, the very first one I had was a Bushnell. Worked for years, years and years and years. Never needed a new one. It didn't have a magnet, so every time I got done with it, I had to put it back in the pocket of my bag. Well, it decided to give up the ghost. After several years of usage, I'm good with that. Now I get a newfangled one, and I got it from Blue Tees. And Blue Tees, with all the new stuff on it, had a magnet on it, with the kind where you just put them on the golf cart and away you go. Very first round, left that son of a gun right there because it was not in my normal rhythm. And once I realized it, I no more than got back to the hotel, made the phone call, the things disappeared. Right? It's not no chivalry among golfers when it comes to rangefinders. So I got another one. That lasted 3 weeks. And same thing, only here at the home course. I got there, turned around. I no more than got a couple blocks away, turned right back around, and sure enough, it disappeared too. I'm just like, good gravy. Now, the last one I can say is not my fault. Is this one right here, the Eagle Eye, right? It is not a very expensive one, but it worked just fine. I like the red readouts, right? For me, it's easier to pick up, and I had it on and so to kind of, I had a magnetic plate that I had on my bag, and so I would put it on the magnetic plate on my bag. It's just for ease and speed of getting into it, right? I'm trying to pace a play thing, and I'm using it, and it works fabulous. At the end of the round, I put it in the thing, in the pocket, and away we go. Works great. Well, me and Bob are out golfing, and we are hitting all kinds of bumps and things, and it was so bumpy that head cover right there came flying off the putter head, and didn't know it until we stopped. Well, I went back looking for it, didn't find it, but yet the cart girl found that, and she brought it to me, and I was appreciative of that. And I said, "Well, if you find a rangefinder, let me know." And so I would imagine at the same bump that the putter cover went off, that went off. So if I can figure out a way to not lose that thing, we'd be in good shape. All right. So there's my story. So now rangefinders have taken a bit of a change in technology. It used to be you'd 400 or 500 yards, it was all good. Well, there are some holes out there that are longer than 500 yards. I know, why are you going to shoot something 500 yards when nobody can hit it 500 yards? I would agree. All right. But now there are some rangefinders out there that go beyond 500, 800, 1,000 yards out there. Why you need that, I don't have the first clue. But that's the capability. So I'm letting you know. So a couple of good ones to look at. All right. Bushnell will always be the number one. Bushnell, you're going to pay for what you get, right? And there are several models. Right now, I believe they're on version 6. And you can get things that have slope on it. Now, if you have a machine that has slope, you got to be careful, because if you're going to get into competitions, the people, when you allow you to use it, they don't want you to use the slope function, because that's too much of a advantage over a golfer that doesn't have it. Okay, so you got to be careful of that. So Bushnell is number one. Leopold is another one that's always gets a little bit of love. Now they've lost a little bit of market, I think, in competition to the other ones that the less expensive models. And that would be like Blue Tees, the Eagle Eye, and then the last one I'm going to tell you about is Nikon. Nikon, I normally don't think of Nikon as a rangefinder, but again, in those top 5, top 10s, this thing always shows up. So Bushnell, Leopold, and these are the more popular of the group, and they're a little bit more expensive, not by a bunch, but more expensive. Then you got Blue Tees and Eagle Eye, and then which are the least lower expensive. All right, and then Nikon was his a honorable mention. All righty, so the training gadgets. Okay, training gadgets. So when we talk about training gadgets, we're talking about how to make you play golf better, right? How to play golf better. And I'm only going to give you a couple on this one. And so in order to play golf better, we'll start from the green and work our way back. Number one is the putt out. All right. It's a group out of, I believe, out of England. And the putt out, it has this banana shaped gizmo that it's got a cup in front of it and a hole, and it goes up and it looks like a banana, so to speak, and there's a hole in the middle. And the idea is to put through the cup and land that thing into the hole and get it to stick in the hole. And Krister, when he's on here, he did this and did it multiple times in a row in order to get to it. It's crazy what this does. Now, what does that do? Well, the idea here is you're no longer concentrating on the cup. All right, you're concentrating on the backside of the cup in order for you to get there. So lag putters, this will be a hard one for you guys to get to because we lag golf balls, right? So you want to get into there. Bud is a great putter trainer, and the whole putt out there's a whole system for that thing, but the actual trainer itself is not bad. All right, for going for going fast, right? For going fast. The idea here is swinging fast. We want to get, speed's the thing, right? Because speed is what makes the ball go far. So there's two that I'm looking at, and one's called the ripstick, and the other one's called the stack. Now, the other one is Super Speed Golf. They're the originators. You got to give them a little bit of love because they got this thing started. I like the Super Speed, but these other ones, I think what's happening is that they're winning on the backside with the applications, not necessarily the stick. All right. Now I give you the ripstick because of price. I give you the stack because it has a more robust training regiment in it. And when you're all said and done, you've gone through it, you've got some permanent skills. So those are the ripstick and the stack. Now the last one here is more. Is a trainer, and a lot of people use it, particularly as we get older. But the orange whip. Okay, the orange whip. Now, I don't have the orange whip. I don't have the ripstick. I don't have the stack. I don't even have super speed. But I've seen some of these in action, and I've played with the orange whip. And the orange whip allows you to stretch your muscles. It's a great warm-up tool, but it also provides you a way to gather a rhythm, right? And you can have a quick rhythm and bring it around, and you can figure out how you're throwing that club into the ball by doing that. And it doesn't mean everybody has to be the same, but it does give you a feel of how you're loading the club. All right, the last bit is the next one, workouts, golf workouts, right? You want to get in shape. It's the new year. Everybody has I want to get in shape, right? Yeah, I want to do that. All right. So number one, and it's a guy I've went to. His name's Dr. J.P. Guidry. All right, Guidry Sports. He's a doctor in therapy, and he's also a Titleist. He's a TPI certified guy. He's on the internet. You can get little bits and tweaks on the exercises. He develops a program, and I used it once before, and I got excellent results. I can't recommend him enough. Dr. J.P. Guidry. The other one is, if you're not interested in that and you want to do it more at the home, is this Golf Forever. Okay, don't know anything. I don't have any affiliation with them, but this Golf Forever is a kit, tells you how to work out, and it's got that bar. You've seen a couple of professional guys using it, and it's not about weights, it's about balance and stretching and getting that resistance in there. And this Golf Forever looks to be the way to go. All right, simulators. Now, I'm not going to get into the big, deepest, what do you need for a what do you need for a screen, what do you need for a mat, and all that stuff. But I'm talking about it because there are tons and tons and tons of things on YouTube, out in the internet, and show you how to do this. All right. However, the biggest thing is to be accurate. All right, to be accurate. Is it measuring what it needs to measure for you? Now, if you're more analytical, or you just want to go play and um, keep your your swing nice and oiled up and ready to go, I got two. I got two. Number one is the Sky Track. All right, Sky Track can get from something very inexpensive to something mid-range, we'll call it, and it can give you a lot of the things that you need just to go play golf, hit it in there, and maybe give you some parameters, maybe. Okay, good little setup. It's always included, and you can make a simulator on a budget when you do that. All right, the other one, and it should be no surprise, is the Flight Scope Mevo, and actually it's the Mevo Plus. All right, the Mevo is a little bitty one. The Mevo Plus is something a little bit bigger, way more robust again, and the way to go. A little bit more, but it's not outlandishly expensive. And the things that you get on it, the graphics are very, very nice, and the information you get is very, very, very impressive. Okay. All right, last bit. Oh, and there's two more. We talk about the Garmin R10. That's kind of it's a few years going on, but it works. And then that new Rapsodo, right? But those are the Rapsodo is getting a lot of love right now, and it works in a lot of the same way as maybe the Mevo, except for it looks like a stick on a tripod, and it works in a lot of the same ways as the Mevo Plus does. All right, last three. Here we go. Stuff for your golf bag. We talked about the golf bag. How about stuff for it? Right? Not a lot of size required. So, balls, tees, first aid kit, and towels. And then the last one is the one that is something new that I wouldn't have said earlier, but as we get older and as these things come out, the Theragun. All right. So, golf balls, golf tees. You can have your favorite if you've been fit, whatever. The first aid kit is a must. Don't cheap out. Get a nice first aid kit with band-aids, with even some sunscreen, some lip protection, lip balm, some mosquito bites, bee stings type things, those kinds of ideas. And you can get a small first aid kit that can't be that big and will fit in there and do whatever it is that you need. And get that, you'll be surprised how much you're going to use it. Towels, right? And my favorite is the club glove because it has the slot that goes over top of the. Well, I have it. You see it right about there, right there. Okay, and you see it right about there. And they hang over a club. They don't have a hook. They don't have anything to stick you, and that's the part that I like. All right, and then the Theragun. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the Theragun that goes in a bag is not the big thing that looks like a jackhammer that fits in your hand. It's a little triangle thing with a little ball in the end, and it's another way to get yourself warmed up. All right, and the last two, which should not be a surprise coming from a club guy and a fitting guy, is golf grips. Now you go, Jim. You talked about size. Well, truly, but getting a new set of golf grips can totally change the way your golf clubs feel, whether you like soft, sticky, firm, rough, whatever. There's one to fit somebody out there. And when you go to get them, you can size them up to your hands, and you're off and you're running, right? And there's several different makers out there. Obviously, Golf Pride, Lambkin, Win, Jumbo Max, Star. There's all kinds out there. Check them out. Now, if your Star is probably the most economical, and the way that it works is it gets stickier and it lasts for a very, very long time. Golf Pride is quite possibly the most popular of the group. If you're looking for a soft one, then Win and then Super Stroke get in that category. And then the big ginormous one is Jumbo Max. And the Jumbo Max, I played them all year. They worked for me, and I'm doing a test right now to see if I'm changing out of them or I'm keeping them. All right, and the last bit is a fitting. All right, a fitting. Go get fit. right? Go Get Fit. And why? Well, because you want to know what you want to buy, and this goes into the club. If you want to know what you want to tell your other half to get you, go get fit, get it prescribed, get the answer, and you always will get what you want. And it'll be the right thing right out of the box. Well, there we go. I'm shaking the table. There we go. And that was a lot of fun. And so that's what we need. That's what you do. And for what you get out of it, it will save you money in the long run. Whether you're getting a Christmas gift, birthday gift, anniversary gift, or you just want to go buy some clubs, it would be the one thing that saves you a lot of money, and you come away knowing exactly what you're buying. All right, so there's the end of that one. Very last thing, and we'll start talking. We've had a changeover in Mizuno as far as new stuff to old stuff, or old stuff to new stuff. And right now what I have here is, if you're interested, is a 9-degree right-handed STG Mizuno head. And it's the 220 model. Okay. It's the 220 model. And it has I just put in a new adapter and where it goes. This is of course, it's got the movable weights side to side, and then the one in the back. These are 7-gram weights, and this is adjustable to upright and several degrees either way. If you email Mrs. McGolf, and she can forward you a price. All right, for something else, we've got 3 and 2, and this is the noisemakers. All right, wedges. As we've talked, the forged wedges have been replaced. They now are T24s. So I have T22s. I have a chrome T22, and it is a 5614, and it's a standard grind, 5614, and they all have this, put this down, have this raw face in them, and as you can tell, this has been hit. This was my demo club for wedges. It's got the Modus 105 wedge shaft in it, and the standard Mizuno grip on it. I say it's in very good shape. It's never been outside the shop. Standard grind. In fact, it is the S grind. You should be good to go. The other two are the denim copper wedges. Denim coppers. Okay. And if you can tell, there we go. Denim copper. One of them is a X grind 60 degree, 6 degrees of bounce. So the X grind's a little wider and a little less bounce on it. Okay. And it's made out of the denim copper, which for us was a very popular color. So this is truly copper on the outside. And then it has the raw face, as you can tell, has been hit, and it will keep patinaing as it goes. This one has the dynamic gold tour issue on it. Now to go with that is the T22 D grind 5610. All right, the 5610. If you look at it, a little more heel and toe relief, not nearly as wide, but also a little more bounce. And it also has the tour issue shaft in it. Now, from another perspective, I have 2 new ones. So new, they don't even have a grip on them. All right. And that's how we normally get them here in order to make sure we need the right length and all the bending. So one of them is a 58.8, and it's a C grind. A 58.8 C grind. Let's put this one down. All right, a 58.8 C grind is exactly what it looks like. These things appear to be very, very wide in there, but they really are not. And the C grind is, if you look, there's the grind here. It kind of gives it looking like the C. Very, very, very smooth. Never been hit. And this one has another Modus 105 wedge shaft. You can get it raw or call us and tell us what you want on as a grip and what lie angle and what length. The other one is, and still in the wrapping, and this is what they look like when they come new, is another denim copper, and this is a T22 66S grind. So this is another low bounce 60, which is where you're going to find a lot of these anyway, right? And then there's the X grind. You see a little more heel and toe relief, but the thing is just a hair wider. And again, this one's not been out of the wrapper, so the face is very, very, very copper looking. All right, so that's what we got. I'm going to put these over here because they'll fall again. There we go. So that's where we're at. All right, so if you're interested, let Mrs. McGolf know. If not, we'll still have them. And there we go. All right. Whew, that was a lot to go through. Hopefully you guys learned something. Oh, and while we're at it, before we get started, like and subscribe. That way we get more of these videos. It really, so to get brutally honest here, the YouTube looks at the views. And when you don't get a lot of views, it doesn't give you a lot of recognition when you show up. So the more views, the more likes, the better off this does. And then when I put out the other videos, it gets out further into the public. So tomorrow there will be a video that comes out, and it's more of Teach the Teacher with Matt. This is where we start getting serious. We took apart the other ones. This is about a 30+ minute video of measuring them up, getting them up, and gluing them up. Okay. And there's a lot of conversation that goes in there and what we do. So it's actually pretty neat. And I cut out about 20 minutes worth of it. So let's keep it going there. All right. Starting out. Matt says he shot a 75 and a 74 with those irons that we're making in these videos, which are those Founders clubs with the graphite shafts and making them to his length. So with his new shafted irons, he lost his bet, but got respect because I can use any type of club within the right specs. How'd you lose the bet? I thought you were able to shoot your score, or was it you needed to shoot lower than a 75? That's crazy. All right, question. What is 2004 going to be? Well, normally I say it's the year of the driver, year of the iron, year of the putter, that kind of thing, year of the wedge. And from what I've seen coming forward, I think we're going to see this year a little bit more of a balance. You're probably not going to see a lot in the way of drivers because a lot of the companies aren't going to throw anything new out there, such as Ping. They're probably not going to throw a new driver out until much later out in the year. Titleist has already done their thing. Where you're going to see is a lot of competition is probably between Callaway and TaylorMade as usual, right? A lot of the other companies just aren't going to release the driver. So what normally happens is in that first year, you got the spike in sales. They come down, then they flatten out until they eventually drop, and then it's time for the new one. That's about every 2 year in a cycle. Irons are going to come out, and some of the irons have been improved radically. So I will not say no, but what we're going to see is an improvement. Is it going to be a massive leap forward? Probably not, right? Where I see a lot of the plus and minuses coming from, which is we're seeing at the end of this year, middle to the end of this year, is probably in putters. We saw Lab Putter get a huge, huge amount of popularity with the pros as well. So you probably see that take off, and you'll probably see a lot of companies trying to compete with them. Just like we see now with the AI and the putter, that is Odyssey. Odyssey is just dominating the tour right now, and rightfully so. It's a good putter. Okay. Will be a great year to learn more and more. There you go. I'm down with that. Can never learn enough. John, how are you, sir? Glad to see you made it on there. Thumbs up, everybody. Appreciate it. He says, Charlie says, nice rounds. I thought so. I mean, the guy's shooting, what, 2 over par with 30-year-old clubs, and he lost his bet. I don't know about that one. And oh, by the way, in this one, so Charlie, rare breed turkey cast strength. Yahoo. Okay. All righty. Paul Van Vliet, how are you, sir? Shot a 69, then I got up and went to the bathroom and went back to bed. Very good. Terry Lockwood says they're good scores. Yep. Hello there. Matt's talking back. All righty. Charlie went 2 under through the first 6 holes, 35 in the front, 41 in the back. Eagle 2 birdies and yuck a triple. There's the killer. But that's a heck of a round, dude. 76. That's a heck of a round. Good for you. And in the cold, no less. Well done. Are you guys getting snow yet? It looks like the Great Northwest got it, and it looks like it's coming your way. Brent Dowell. Hello there. How are you, sir? Glad to see you can make it on. Exploring Philippines. There we go. Good evening from mid-coastal Maine. You're another one. I imagine it's gotten pretty. We're in a cold snap here in Ohio. I mean, it's not going to get above 30, 35 for a couple of days and then turn around and jump up into the 40s, maybe the very low 50s for a day or two, and then go right back down. So we get some. My sisters in Wisconsin, they got a dusting of snow. So I don't think we're going to be dodging that this year. Okay. Let's see. Matt's talking to everybody. Robin's talking back. And there's Peter. All righty. Peter's lucky enough to play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wow. 75, 73, 77, 74. You are the man, Peter. Well done. Good job. Did you get a chance to use that longer putter again? Terry Lockwood, neighbor did it again, broke the shaft out of his driver in anger, flush with the hustle. Well, it'll keep you busy, either in beer or keep you paid in beer or whatever. Got the shaft out, now have either epoxy or butt of the shaft inside the head. And any advice or tricks? Well, you know what? I do have a couple of videos on removing shafts, and there's one in there about removing a broken shaft. But if it is, and we're talking about a driver, so it's a 99.9% chance that it's going to be graphite. So what you want to do is heat up the hosel, right? Heat up the hosel, and then start drilling with a smaller drill and progressively making your way out. And don't go above 5/16. Right? Don't want to go above that. And eventually you're going to create enough heat on the outside and on the inside that it should break it loose. Okay. And then when it breaks it loose, it'll all just come out on the drill with you. If that does not happen, work the drill around and try and get as much out as you can. Then heat the inside of it up and keep going with that. Or get you a hosel brush, right? You can get them from Golf Works, hosel brush, and heat up the inside of that stuff. Shove that hosel brush in there, and it will just wipe it out clean. That's the best way to do it. Easiest way to do it, as a matter of fact. Have you ever tried deep fried turkey? Oh man, making me hungry. Yes, Brent, we have. I have a turkey fryer, as a matter of fact, and yes, it is extraordinarily yummy. It really, really, really is. The and especially depending on the injection that you put into it. I have cooked several full turkeys doing that, and then what I try to do is I try my luck and do hush puppies or a one of those bloomin' onion type things. Hush puppies I'm okay with. Bloomin' onion is complete failure. Uh, but I will say this: frying the turkey is very, very good, and it is very, very juicy. And every once in a while you should poke it just to make sure you're getting the right temperature. The thing is, I'm getting lazier in my old age, and putting them on the smoker with a probe already in it to tell me what the temperature is. So I've pulled it out on the perfect temp is way simpler than guarding a boiling pot of oil from kids, neighbors, whatever. And and I normally go out in the garage and do it, so I'm not setting anything on fire, anything like that. And it could be a zen time to listen to the pot boiling and whatnot, but that's just where it's at. All right. But that mac and cheese I made, dude, smoked mac and cheese, that's where it's at. And the best part is you can make it any way you want. All right. John Lamb, what do you say, sir? Hope this finds you well and rested after a compulsory nap on the couch. Yes. Holy smokes, man. I was having that turkey coma and it was awful. All right. On getting it out, it's an old Nike with no weight port. Yeah, I got you. The hammer. Receive Mizuno hot metal 4-iron you put together for me. Looks great. I'll have a putter. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you like it, dude. That was really nice. Ho, ho, ho. Hello, golf peeps. I have a few clients in the sim tonight doing leagues. Have a good show. I'll catch you after. Take care of the folks, man. I saw a picture of you going with that. That's actually a nice setup you've got, bud. Take care. Ah, the putter project. Okay. Well, consider if you really want to go over the top with it, they got those BGTs. Those are really nice shafts. Michael Moody. How are you, sir? Hey, we got a different picture. Nice. Okay. Dennis Hood is in the house, making me hungry with those food pictures. I know, right? They keep saying, "Well, why don't you start a food channel?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm nowhere near that." But it's fun to get out there on the grills and do those different things. I'm getting with this new side dish and this the app that comes with the Rec Tech gives you these recipes on other things. My next thing is I'm going to try a barbecued meatloaf on the smoker. That looks to be really really good. Garrett Clemens. So, do you just fix up clubs from people from around the USA? No, I do not, Garrett. That's just one of the things I do. We actually have a brick and mortar shop in here. This is the fitting studio that I'm sitting on. Where I'm at right now is with the computer that I look into, and the people in front. We hit into a bay which has the projector and all the stuff that you want, plus a TV and all the different. Uh, Here we go. All the different, you know, shafts and whatnot, all the places I've been, plus all this other stuff. So there you go. All right. Well, what's the odds it comes back the way it needs to? And it didn't. There we go. All right, close enough. So uh we do that. The fittings are first, then we build those to spec and we do golf club repairs. And then when these folks send us golf clubs, as long as they give me some specs or something to work with, life is good. But yeah, there are a lot of them from the USA, very rarely from around here. So there's Scott. How are you doing, buddy? All righty. Peter's saying, oh, maybe the ZF will come back after he opens up. Yes. Now that would be really nice of him, wouldn't it? Although I don't know, a guy that's getting aces with those clubs would be hard to give him up, buddy. But I'm here to tell you, if he can turn those things over, your young man is very, very strong. So hopefully he's probably spraying these other ones now that he's gotten his game on, and we're good to go. All right. My due addition to golf was hip replacement with a steel ball titanium shaft. Can't wait for spring. Well done, man. That was pretty good. Here we go. That was actually pretty good. Well, hopefully you get your therapeutic training in, and then the titanium ball doesn't hurt as much when you get out there. All right. Can the grooves of a putter help correct off-center hits? Well, I don't know about off-center hips. If you're talking about bringing it back to the middle, I don't know about curving it so much to the middle. You'd probably get some arguments for the yes putter people, and they had that half moon groove on it, and they said that it would do stuff like that. I'm not so certain that would do that. However, it did maintain some forward roll, right? And that's where that would go. Now what they're saying is your biggest thing, particularly with these AI inserts that they've got from Callaway and things like that, and Bobby Grace did it way, way, way back when, was you may not necessarily make it to the hole. It might not curve you there, but when you're in off center hits, you can get penalized pretty heavy on distance control, right? On distance control. And so a putt that you would normally leave going into the hole or just on the edge of the cup may find its way a foot back, maybe 2 foot back, because it was such a miss hit. Now, with the way that this item that goes behind the face in both the white and or the milled, that a lot of that has been corrected. Okay, a lot of that has been corrected. Now, from what I've seen in these shapes, it is much like golfers that would traditionally miss towards the toe. And this is assuming the same thing, such that there's more gobbledygook toe side than there is heel side in order to give you that more of a punch. And will it curve it? That's dependent on the green, right? Now we're talking about fighting the green. If everything's a straight line, I think it just keeps you more closer to the putt, so that your next one's a tap in, not necessarily a put in. That's where I would go with that. All right, Peter. Yeah, Charlie, that's probably the best one of the day right there. All righty, John Lamb managed to get 9-hole round a couple weeks ago. Course open for a few days. It's about 50, 60 out temp on greens. From the tips, managed 2 over for 9. All right, look at and Mrs. John Lamb, 3 over. You guys are it right there, man. Well done. The husband-wife team is title goes for you guys. All right. Locals too, as well as Canada. There. Sell it, Mr. McGolf. Charlie Brown thought it surprised me if it wouldn't. Come on, man. That's funny. All righty. Do you have any type of iron heads that won't adjust loft and hot lie? Not necessarily, but the ability to adjust them a lot would be coming into concern. For instance, ping comes to mind. They go, okay, can you bend this 2-3 degrees? No, not a lot of cases. No, ping's the max, absolute max, 2 degrees. Average is closer to 1.5. 2 degrees is only if I'm standing on the damn thing. Uh, those are those kinds right there. Now well, you know what? There's one. A lot of them I get real nervous around irons that have been coated, and those black PVD coatings where they're really really hard, like that black putter I showed you. Let me go back here and I'll show you that black putter. This guy, that kind of stuff scares me. All right. And now this is a different kind of coating, but when I see this coating right here, it absolutely scares me. And the reason being is because when the coating goes on there, the particular black covering, it makes the metal brittle. Okay. It makes the metal brittle. And when you go to move it, you can just hear the stuff cracking. And when you hear stuff cracking, that's a warning sign that you're going too far. And the 2 that I've broken have been coated. So, yeah, those are the ones that I probably would think twice. If somebody wanted to send me them to bend, I'd probably tell them save their money. Michael Moody, my stealth driver is 10 degrees with a speeder NX50, a regular shaft and swing speed around 90. Would I benefit in bringing it to 11.5 or lowering it for distance? Well, Michael, as in most things in golf, it depends, right? It really depends. If in we'll just say everything being average the way it is, the in order to gain a little bit more distance, the increase of loft is where you want to go. It's just like I use the adage of if you have a garden hose and you put your thumb over it and you want it to go a little bit further, you arc it a little bit higher so that it broadcasts itself a little bit further. Now that's carry. All right. So the thing is, and I will warn you that can you do that? Yeah, I'd give it a try. Why not? You might find it's really good. Now, the pros and the cons. The pros is if you go higher, it launches further, or it launches higher, supposedly carries further, hits the ground, and runs out, and it's a further ball. On a stealth driver, when you go to adjust it and you go to add loft, it's going to close. Okay. So if you're hitting the fairway in the middle and it's going just exactly where you want to go, you'll see it go to your inside just ever so slightly. That might cause you a problem. I'm just warning you. That's not neither good nor bad. That's just warning. Now, the con part is as you increase loft, you can increase spin. If you increase spin, let's say you're spinning it pretty heavily now, and you increased even more spin, what it'll have the tendency to do is go up, stall, and fall out of the ground or fall out of the sky. That's the part you want to get away from, which case lowering it would probably do you a little bit better. Now, in today's environment right now in winter up here in the north, lowering is probably not where you want to go because it's going to hit and it's going to get stuck in the wet or the soggy or any of the other stuff. Now, when it gets firmer, the 30 degrees come through and you want to get in there, yeah, lower and watch it run because it's going to run on the frozen tundra and you can get away with that. So it's a little bit each. You are not considered a local. No. You got to drive that far away, brother. I'll just consider you a friend. How's that? Krister, hello from Sweden. It's very cold and snowy. Dude, you have been all over the Instagram. I've been watching some of those training things you've been doing and seeing some of the things you've been doing within the simulator. Good for you, man. Good for you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. She already said that. Good job. Michael saying hello to us. Look at that. John Cherry, can the grooves of a putter help correct off-center hit? I think we answered that one. Tom Weishapple. Okay. Hello, Tom. If I soft step a new set if I soft step a new uncut set of Acro 115i regular steel shafts, will they end up being a little softer shaft? The answer is yes. In almost every instance, no matter what you do, they will be a little softer by approximately a third of a flex. John Lamb to Peter. You may have to wait until he smacks him on the course and see if he likes him better. If he likes the rest of us club junkies, though, the decision to sit and reserve. I think we're seeing that. There he is, Dan Bunga. This is yours, brother. Right there, that's you. Keep them in the plastic until the very last minute. So, very cool. And the food was good. I have to admit, we had I don't know what you guys have for Thanksgiving. Our traditional stuff is obviously the turkey, the stuffing in the turkey, some corn casserole, and pretty much I'm good at that. Normally we do what's called Waldorf salad. I didn't make that this year. And then friends brought over some pie and some rolls, and I'm trying to think. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh my God, that was good. And that's pretty much us. All righty. Charlie wants to know, hey, Krister, how the iron's working out? That's a good question. Charlie, if you've been watching him on Instagram, he's not letting the snow slow him down even the slightest little bit. Good for him. Travis K, happy Thanksgiving, Jim and Robin. I'm asking for Pro V's for Christmas, $55 a dozen. Would I never buy them myself? Good man. Get in the line of sales and let the company give you some for being a good salesperson. Or if that's the way they like to reward people. Yep. Peter's like, yep, I'm with you, John. There's Danny. How are you, sir? Jody Rees or Jody Rise. Howdy, all. Think of adding a 14-degree, 43-inch driver to replace my 3-wood that serves no purpose other than a ball retrieval and killing snakes. Is this a viable option off the tee if you can't hit a 3-wood? I think about this one for a moment. A 14-degree driver, which is basically the same as a 3-wood, and replace the 3 wood because it doesn't do very well off of the. So if you can't hit it off the deck, hitting a driver at 14 degrees is not going to help you very much either, because the idea of the it depends on what you're looking at. The Let's go back. Fairy woods in general are flatter in design. Okay, drivers in a lot of cases actually are more upright, and you very well may be able to hit it off the tee a little bit better. If you're looking to use this as a replacement to your driver because you can't hit your 3 wood, I'm not seeing the correlation. Okay. However, if you're looking to get more air time, and because the swing speed might not be as fast as it once used to be or isn't fast, then yeah, 14-degree driver is the way to go. I'll get it up in the air just like we talked before and throw it out into the yard and get a little more distance and watch it roll. Uh, if for some reason the 3 wood, and for instance, here's the giveaway. If the top of your 3 wood, let's use this as an example. If the top of your 3 wood is all mangled up or dinged up at the top, that means you're coming into it steep. Okay. And no matter how much you're doing that, you're still going to do the same thing with the driver. I would recommend going to a very low lofted hybrid. Hybrids are more upright. They're as short, if not shorter, and you will hit it further than the 3 wood. I say that and I know I'm getting a lot of eye rolling and I'm getting a lot of, oh, are you sure? Well, the answer is yeah. And I do this in here on every fitting to figure out which one you would be best at. And typically, folks that hit irons or that have steeper inclines typically gravitate towards hybrids, all right, because they're made a little bit more upright and they're shorter and they're easier to hit and people clobber them. If you look in this bag right here, there's not a fairway wood in that bag. All right, I've got an 18 crank down, got a 21, I got a 23, and I will hit those further than I will any 3 wood whatsoever. So that's something to consider. Now, if you're looking for something off the tee, what you're talking about is basically what they call a thriver, and it is a very high lofted short club that's made to make hit fairways and get down the middle. And I'm never going to argue that point. All right, Charles, they are good. Just me. I can't make decent shots so far. I have he has a steep angle of attack for Matt's. Okay. That's a good idea. All right, Scott says, all things being equal in your opinion, the best wedge, Cleveland, Mizuno, or Vokey? Wow. That's a heck of a question. Well, first and foremost, Scott, as I've talked once before on this anyway, but if you're looking for a forged wedge, you've only named one in that whole entire group, and that would be the Mizuno Club. All right, that would be the Mizuno Club. Now, um, if you're looking for something that with a little more versatility, I would say the Cleveland Club, because the RTX6 has got a pretty aggressive face, but the way that they've got a low, a mid, and a high bounce, but the grinds switch slightly between them, and they're very versatile with a lot of heel and toe relief. Now, that's not to say the Mizunos don't do it either, but the sole's a little wider. So if you take a little bit more turf, the Cleveland Club will probably be the way to go. Okay. The Mizuno, if you're a clipper, I would say the Mizuno is the way to go. Vokey makes a great wedge. All right. I will never. Mr. Vokey, the dude's been around. He's done more innovations in wedge design than most, save probably Mr. Cleveland. Okay. However, I find his wedges to be harsh, and that's my personal preference. I find there's a lot of milling going on so that it'll grab the club. Very smart milling for if you open a wedge, good stuff. And he's got several different grinds to marry up the way you play golf, but so do the other golf clubs, so do the other wedges. But I just find the Volkeys to be harsh. They give me a harsh feedback where the other ones do not. There you go. All right, Charlie, as long as they feel good to you, that's a good beginning. And I would agree. Throw a little prosciutto and the mac and cheese on the grill. Been doing that for a while. Now that sounds like a winner. I saw one where you could add bacon, and which is right in that same area, right? The bacon sounds pretty cool, and that the panko on the top was an Italian blend, so I got more of it wasn't just all plain. I got a little bit of flavor in that. That was really good too. Here we go. Jason, what do you say, buddy? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. You too, man. Uh, buy 2 dozen pack for $100. Oh man, Would you ever, Scott? Would you ever, in your wildest dreams, think that those words would ever come out of your mouth? Hey, buy 2 dozen golf balls. It's only $100. That is crazy. There's Dan Bega. Yes, seeing the wedges made me feel like Christmas is around the corner. And backward at 50-degree, nice post-Christmas present. Well done. Spence Black, here's a new one. Hello, buddy. Does adding lead tape to an iron head's 10 plus grams affect flex and general playability of the club? I added tape to bring the swing weight from C5 to D1, and it causes fats hits. Yes, it does, Spence. All right, so there's a lot to unpack. This is a video in itself, Spence. So the minute once you get above 12 grams or 10 grams, you have the ability to impact the center of gravity of the club. All righty, so let's use this one. And I did this test not too long ago. For instance, let's look at it and we'll just say, and I don't know where it's at, but let's just say this is the center of gravity of the club right here. Okay. And you add weight, and let's say you've put a lot of weight in this area, or you've put it across the bottom. You've put it across the bottom here in a very even space. So what it will do is it will pull it down. All right, it will pull it down, and if you go to the heel, it'll pull it this way, about anywhere from 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Okay. But it will move it, and the ball doesn't, or the club doesn't like that. All right, so yes, it can do that, right? And yes, it will impact the flex, because if you added 10 grams, right, 10 grams, that is effectively, oh, I got to think about this for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5 CPMs, which, depending on your chart, can be an entire flex. Well, an entire half of a flex. Sorry, a half of a flex at a bare minimum. So this thing might be a little more flexible. It might want to go toe down quite a bit more, and it might want to pop it up more. And now that you're doing that, let me tell you this. Don't get hung up on swing weight. All right. This D1, gotta have D1. That is garbage. All right. Particularly if you got something that's sitting at C5. If you're sitting at C5, it's one of two things. Either the club is short or you're using a lightweight shaft. Okay. There's a third one. You could be using a very, very large grip, right? Like a jumbo grip. Now, all that is tricking the club. All right. And it's just like being on a teeter totter, right? You put a bigger grip on the end. Fine. That's good. You know for a fact that's going to make it lighter. Great. All right. So maybe only add 1 or 2 strips of tape so you get a little bit more head feel back, because all you're doing now is adding weight, right? You're just adding weight this side to this side in order to reach a number. That's not the idea. The idea here is to reach a feel so that this club works like you're supposed to. The effect of putting a bigger grip makes the head lighter. Okay, go hit it and see what happens. If you're a little bit off, just put a little bit of tape on there, just a little bit of tape, get that little bit of feeling at, and watch you just smoke it. All right, absolutely smoke it. If it's a lighter shaft, then it's lighter for a reason, right? What you're doing is what I call, it's a club that's made of unobtainium, right? Because getting to that level, you're just adding weight for the sake of adding weight. You have a lightweight shaft in there because you're obviously a smoother swinger, and smoother swingers like lighter clubs. D1 is just a number. You could probably be good at C8, right? Don't worry about it. If you were to go look now, and we've talked about, in fact, we talk about this one in the Teach the Teacher thing when with Matt on here, that the heads in the day, the 5-iron was at 256 to 258. It is now around 252. That is a full club and a half lighter, right? Because clubs got lighter so you can swing them faster, so they go further, on and on and on. And you don't lose a lot of feel for that, okay? You just don't. And as you get lighter in the shaft, like for instance, if you were to order a Mizuno shaft or a Mizuno head and you put a lightweight shaft in it, it could be very conceivably a C5, C6, C7 club easily. And I go, well, I want a D1. Well, sorry, it's just not made in the cards for that kind of thing. But the feeling, if I was to hand you three clubs, D1, D, that kind of stuff, you probably wouldn't pick out the D1 club. Now, again, for instance, in all these clubs that I showed you, right? And I'll go back. So I showed this one to Peter, right? These are ZX7s with a 130 gram shaft in it and regular grip size, right? But then I go down here and I put these in there, and those have 95 gram shafts, but and they're an inch long and they're jumbo. Now, which one do you think is going to feel heavier? The one with a heavier shaft in it or the one with a longer club in it? Because they're virtually one swing weight off of each other. One. And you would never know it. And I guarantee you, you would think that the heavier club is going to be the heavier swing weight. And measuring, it is not. So it's all about feel and distribution of that weight. Ooh, I got off on a tangent on that one. Okay. Ranji, how you doing, buddy? Feel okay? Hope you had a nice tea day. We did. It was very tasty. All 3 days. It was very, very tasty. And I got on the treadmill and I walked every day that I could that I was off. So hopefully I got a little bit back. I've had the same one for 10 years. Okay. Bushnell. Yes, that's what I was talking about, Garrett. That's the one I had. It lasted forever. It's definitely money well spent. All right. Henry Wyman Jr., how are you, sir? Home course, DuPont, Washington. Wow. He's on the West Coast, boys and girls. And so thank you for joining it. DuPont. Welcome. Garrett, I have a little rangefinder on my golf bag. Yeah. Jewel likes the GPS better. Can't keep. Oh, can't keep something. My buddy Bob used to have one, and he had a watch. And what we'd do is he would look at his watch and he'd go, okay, it's 150 to the center. And then I would shoot it with a rangefinder and I go, okay, it's 135 to the stick. So the pin must be up in the front. And so that's how we used to clobber it like that. I sail all but Leopold, used to sell Leopold scopes for hunting. Yeah, they were good for that, for sure. Those putts are hard. All right, if I'm sighting in my rifle, my rangefinder, and order Leopold Nation, and there you go. Jewel likes GPS better, can't keep the rangefinder steady. All right, that's one, and that's a perfect example of why you would want that, right? And just as in the vein of stuff for the rangefinder toys, if you're looking for something like that, Blue Tees has this thing it looks like it's about so wide and about so tall, and it can clip onto a belt, it can clip onto your thing, and it will count out much like a GPS does for front, middle, back, and it's got a display as well. Something to look at. Blue Tees is really jumped into this thing with both feet, and they have several different options to choose from. Almost forgot to like this video. Well, hopefully you did, and hopefully everybody else did. Keep those things coming. Garrett apparently sells the Orange Whip. I like that thing. I'm not so sure about the curved orange thing that the orange peel, I think is what they call that one. But I like that Orange Whip thing. Love my Orange Whip. There you go. I have it and the Skills Trainer, but I dig the Orange Whip more. I even swapped out the grip for a Jumbo Max. Well, there you go. That's it. I picked up the Golf Forever after a great program. Well, there you go. So now we have a reinforcement. Dan says, let's look at this one. The Golf Forever looks really interesting to me. If Mrs. McGolf is listening, that might be something I might like for Christmas. Because I can do that in my time instead of the other workout. Dr. Guidry is awesome, and he gave me a workout regimen, and I just couldn't hold to it because of my schedule. And I felt bad because I know it works. And there you go. Happy to hear I'm not alone in losing stuff. Yeah, dude. When it comes to, these silly things, I swear. And of course, it's the running joke. I'm the butt of these damn jokes with the wife and the buddies and all that other stuff. So I'm not sure if next time I got to put a bungee cord on this doggone thing or what. Kind of miss McBones in the background. Hopefully, he didn't get thrown in the turkey pot. Nope, he's in the bag. He's in the closet now. We were thinking about getting a bigger brother for him, but we decided against it. But he's still out there wearing a smock, waiting to come out anytime. Yep. Now, if you look back in here, back in this area, right? Well, let's see. Right there. And then there's another one way back here. We got golfer Santas now. All righty. Charlie's like, you're right. There you go. Jason has an R10 and uses the golf balls that you can track. It gives a decent amount of information and is close enough to the GCs at the simulator's joint for Hometown Hero feature is cool. There you go. Yeah, the R10 worked pretty good. I mean, for what it is, it does a very good job, right? I think if you're going to be in the top one or two, I believe the Mevo Plus or the Rapsodo is probably where it's at. And then this R10 is a close number 2 or 3. And with the Mevo and the regular Mevo and then the SkyTrack, there's a lot out there. It just depends on what it is that you're looking for. But that's a good one too. I usually have a few Advil Rabicet in my bag just for those times when the muscles aren't quite working properly as fingers, Band-Aids, moleskin. The moleskins are kind of cool. And those pesky blisters. Yes, correct. Krister says, I'm 5'8", 8.5 inches tall. Wingspan index 5. Ooh, look at you go. You're a flyer. Should I have shorter clubs or more flat clubs or a combination of both? Short irons I can hit better than mid-long irons. Well, Krister, I see that you're practicing a lot. And so let's put it this way. If you're the average golfer, I would say shorter clubs would be the way to go. And at 5'8", you're just under what here in the U.S. 6 foot tall is about an average. All right. So if you get if you're 5'8" and then you have very long arms, you may get to that point where you might be somewhere in that inch shorter range. I'm just guessing. And if you are, then what the way that the clubs need to be built would be in a different way altogether, meaning that instead of half-inch increments, 3/8 inch increments. And that way the shorter clubs aren't so super short where the long clubs aren't so super long. Now, that said, being the better golfer, typically better golfers, and I've been watching your practicing. So when you come back, and you're coming down and you're coming through, you're literally flattening your plane, okay? When you flatten your plane, you can actually use longer clubs. Now, i.e., this is a big thing in Asia, right? They're not real tall in stature, and they like using their regular clubs, so their swing planes have to be flatter in order to accommodate these clubs. And when they're flatter, then the lie angles need to be flatter. Okay. So what I would have if you're struggling with those right now, I wouldn't go to because you got some brand new custom fitted clubs. Uh, go through your swing change first. Hit these golf clubs and uh, and then have them go to that same guy and have them adjusted maybe just a little flatter as your swing becomes more grooved. And then if that's not the case, then experiment by choking down a little bit and see if that doesn't help. All right. Scott Gordon, hello, is wondering if my Rogue ST Max are a bendable club. Thank you. Yes, they are. Now, I won't say by very much because the Rogue ST Max is a multi-piece club, right? It's a cup face design. So it's a cup face on a skeleton of sorts, and then there's all the stuff that goes on in the middle. So yeah, you could do that, but don't expect a lot of changes. Okay, not a lot. Look at you go. All righty. 24 would be an even numbered year. Yes, it will. There we go. We're getting closer. Jack from Lombard. Snow here. All right. So close for the season. So you're indoors. Oh, look at here. C Nozzle. What do you say, buddy? That's my golf spy partner. It's been a while. Been able to join you live. Hope you're both doing well. You too, sir. I saw that you were talking about the guy with the putter that's got a rattle, and I had a response for it, and then I got rid of it in his try hot. With the fact that he removed the insert, he's pretty much too far gone now. But uh, that end piece is normally a glued in piece, just like the faces on like the C4s from Callaway. They have that. They glue them in. They put that little, for lack of a better term, a rubber band kind of thing in there in order to give it so it doesn't rattle. And I don't know what that will get him from a restoration point of view because it won't be like it was. There we go. Meatloaf on the smoker. That sounds good. It does, doesn't it? I'm getting really, really close. Happy Cyber Monday from South Dakota. Well, thanks, John. Appreciate it. And same to you. That was an old trick with old putters. Take it off the toe so you could hit it a tad harder. Yes, that's exactly right. Glenn Burr wants to thanks. We had a great Thanksgiving. And same to you, sir. Hopefully you did as well. Yep, I've seen that done. In fact, I golf with a guy. Me and Bob both golf with a guy. We call him he plans a lot of it, and that guy hits almost everything off of the toe. And when we get to playing these faster courses, he just absolutely rocks it. It's just crazy how good he does. Have you regripped many with Jumbo Max? Well, as a matter of fact, we have. We've done quite a bit this year with Jumbo Max. Anywhere from some of the regular sizes all the way up into the extra large sizes. I've got the super lights on mine. Yeah, they've been a very, very popular grip this year. And that's what she says. All right. As far as those black coated irons, do manufacturers make many disclaimers bending or not? I don't know, John. I really don't know. I think in bending any club, there's a disclaimer, period. Any club, there should be a disclaimer. And that's what we tell them. It's I broke it, you bought it policy because, and getting technical, in the crystal lattice structure or the metal lattice structure of any club, there can always be a defect, whether it be forged, cast, or whatever. Now the percentages are very, very low, but they do exist. And when you go to grab it, it could and just break evenly. That's happened to me. So far in 20 years, I've only broken 3. All right. The first one I broke because the guy used it as a wire hanger and adjusted loft and lies on a monthly basis, and finally came to me and I literally hung the bar on it and it broke it off. Not good. The other 2 were like that. I went to bend one, snapped it clean off. The other one was during a build. I was adjusting lie, and it was one of these black clubs, and it cracked right off too. And so I was none too happy about that. But in bending, in any bend, there's typically a disclaimer because you're actually adjusting the club, and there's always that risk, right? We had turducken this year. Oh man, that's pretty good. Joel C. Hi from Raleigh. Third round today after 1.5 years off. Well, all right. Nice. Well done. Glad you're back. Congrats. There you go. Look at Glenn giving some answers. That's a good one. Ryan Crow. It's got in. I've hit or played all of those wedges, but I end up going with the Wilson high toe. Absolutely love them. If you haven't tested them, you should. You won't regret it. That's another good club. It really is. Good call, Ryan. Carry those to the shop. You will be surprised. Darren Martell, what do you say, sir? Have a new broomstick from Lab Golf. New to me, this baby is a weapon. What's your summed up opinion about these putters? Nothing short of awesome. There's one sitting right there. They're very, very. They're quietly going to be very a dominant putter, in my opinion. Mike Engel, Golf Forever is $100 right now. Ooh, might have to do that. And there's Mike giving her some ideas. You're the man, Mike. John Lamb, Charlie, you were correct, sir. Still do it off the toe and downhillers. Nicely done. There's David DeFeo. How are you, sir? Glad to see you can make it on. Spence Black. Jim, I played a 1/4 inch short and 95 gram shafts. I'm going to play them to C5 because I do hit them well. Maybe add a strip of tape and see what happens. Spence, I really do believe in my heart that maybe one strip of tape, maybe two, and you will be so much better off of it. Don't sweat the number, sweat the feel, right? Sweat the feel because it is completely different than what you think. Think of it in this way. When you got this swing and you think you've got it going on, you're inside out and you're doing all this stuff, and somebody videos you, and it's totally different than the way that it felt. That's what I'm talking about, right there. All righty, guys. So here we go. Made it to the bottom, and we made it an hour and a half instead of an hour. Well done. Hopefully, you guys got some ideas for Christmas gifts. Maybe, hopefully, you brought the other half in there to say, "Hey, this guy's not telling a lie right here." Hopefully, you like that. Hopefully, you like the builds. Hopefully, you like the information. If you got any ideas and you want to see something on the PXGs, or with maybe what we're going to put together with Dan, see what that's going to do, that would be awesome. And don't forget, tomorrow more Teach the Teacher on how to build a golf club, and we should be really, really, really good to go as far as that goes. And we'll have one more after that. Keep in mind, this is going to be a longer one because it is about golf club assembly, and we know that Matt can hit them. He even had a 2-iron, and he hit that. So good for him. As always, guys, thank you for watching again from around the world. And as always, let's see your scores go low.